Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rob Gordon, the wingman out here at Lake Mojave. Sorry if there's background noise. There's a couple of kids on little mini dirt bikes and ATVs, people cooking out, generators, everything like that. It was a hot one last night, too. Man, I'm probably drenched in sweat right now. There's no how-to wingfoil video this week. I'm in the process of trying to track down a bigger board so I can show you guys the beginner stuff. I don't have a beginner board, so it wouldn't make sense to demonstrate all that stuff on my board, which is too small. So today I thought I would take a little break from that and talk about the best light wind jibes, how to jibe in light wind. Wingfoil Safaris out in the Philippines. He's been doing all these crazy modifications to an old windsurfing board, and he's really into the light wind winging and trying to find the best way to wing in light winds because they have fairly light winds where he's at. Here's the thing. I'm really into wing tricks. I love doing race jibes, duck jibes, Heineken jibes, double duck jibes. You'll see me on Instagram doing all that kind of stuff in light wind fairly often. But when it comes to light wind jibing, I still think the best jibe is a regular jibe. It's the jibe you practice most of the time, so you're the most familiar with it. You just have to do a few little tweaks to make it really work in that light wind scenario. And what I'm talking about is it's blowing 8 to 12 miles an hour. You're out there on a 7-meter or 8-meter wing, and you're going out and you're afraid to even turn around because you know if you fall in that jibe, you might not be able to get back up. This is the type of jibe I'm talking about. And in that situation, when I know I can't fall, or I really know it would be a bad situation if I fell, I go to my regular jibe, but I modify it a little bit. And I talk about two different styles of jibes in my Jibing for Dummies video. You might have seen that tutorial. This is more the windsurfer type jibe, because what I want to do in this jibe is always have power in the wing at all times. And I want to quickly execute the sail flip or the wing flip so that I'm repowered very quickly. If you're someone that does the surfer jibe most of the time and you're just gliding around on foil forever and then you're repowering the wing at the end, this might not feel right to you. This is more of a windsurfing style jibe, but I would recommend that you at least try and learn this. This will also allow you to jibe quicker. I see so many people doing their jibes and it takes about 15 seconds for them to finish the jibe. That's not ideal if you want to like whip around onto a wave to come ride it in, or if you need to get out of the way because someone's coming at you. It's really nice to be able to jibe on a dime. And if you'll see me, I can jibe almost in the same spot where I am. That's just how I jibe a lot of times. And I'm still on foil, no problems. It can be a little bit trickier if you're riding a big wide foil that doesn't turn that well. So like you're on an ART 1099 or something. You might be worried about carving that hard because you're gonna get the tips out of the water, maybe breach, that kind of thing. I ride foils that turn a little bit better than most people. Like even my big foil right now is the Hyper 210. Even though it's 1,300 square centimeters and almost a meter wide, it still turns very well. It's made to turn. They have put some downturn into those wingtips and stuff to make the turning better. I also use the Katie Maui Marlin 14, which helps a foil turn better as well. Enough of that nonsense and background. Let's just talk about how to actually do it. So the wind is pretty light right now. This is my new 7-meter Cyclone V2. You see it's not even really standing up all the time here. Let's imagine we're going, wind's kind of onshore right now. This is my strong side. We're going strong side. And if the wind is this light, like it is right now, it really is really light. If you start to jibe regularly, so you're turning down, and then you grab the wing or whatever, or however you want to, you luff it out, the wind is not strong enough to keep the wing flying. So the wing's going to kind of fall down and you're going to run into it and you're going to come off foil and crash. So that's the problem. That's what you got to prevent. So the way that I do that, first off, I get a little bit more speed because that will build some apparent wind. And apparent wind will keep the sail flying. So to do that, I start pumping the wing and the board. As long as you're able to ride on foil and there's any wind at all, you can gain speed. So a lot of people don't do this. Try and gain a little bit of speed before your jibe. Also, look to see if there's a gust. See if the water's a little choppy or a little darker. Look for that gust because that's where you're going to want to jibe. And then also, if you're in the ocean or somewhere with bigger swell, look for a little bit of swell you can jibe on. Okay, so if the swell was coming in toward me, look for a little face you can jibe on, and that'll allow you to ride the foil. So you're going to get going. Try and gain a little speed by pumping. And then as you start to turn, you sort of keep the wing engaged in the same direction that it's already going. So you're turning, but the wing is still heading that other direction. And then as you get around, you spin the wing flat like a pizza. So instead of coming down like this, you kind of spin it and you immediately repower on the other side and then start pumping on this side to get that wind. So let me show that again. We're going here. We start to turn. We're already starting to turn. We're getting power in the foil, but we're keeping the wing sort of in the same direction. As we can't hold it anymore, we switch it around and we repower the other side. By spinning the wing flat, we're keeping it away from any sort of wind power and any chance of falling over the wing. So that prevents you from running over your wing. But you got to do it pretty quickly. If you take a long time to do it, it's not going to work. So that's why it's important to know how to jibe quickly and how to spin the wing really fast on that flat axis. Let's go the other direction. Sorry guys, I got a little excited and I winged my way right out of the frame. So this is, if you were goofy, this is my weak side. In this situation, I switch my feet first and I'm going along. Same thing, I gain some speed and then I start to carve. It's easier to carve in this direction because we're wanting to go to our strong side. So you start the carve, keeping the wing back, and then as you're coming around the other side, you flip it a flat pizza spin and you start pumping again. One thing that I forgot to mention that's really important is when you're going to do this jibe, you want your front hand palm up. By having your palm up, you're able to immediately switch the wing around. If you have your hand palm down, you get crisscrossed and you can't get that same flip on the sail. To me, this is the safest way to jibe in a light wind situation. You're already comfortable with this style of jibe. If you just do some tweaks and you make it more like a windsurfer jibe and you keep the wing powered, spin it flat, and start pumping on the way out, I think you're gonna find this is more effective than messing around with some other type of jibe. Sometimes I will do a race jibe if it's really light, but I usually only do that on my strong side. Yeah, on my strong side. So I'm not comfortable with all those little tricky jibes in both directions. So sometimes what I'll do is I will do a race jibe and coming around. But the problem with those little tricky jibes is if you mess it up, you're going to come off foil. So if you're not really, really good at those tricky jibes, then I wouldn't mess with it. If I'm weak side, I'll do the Heineken jibe. But see, like even there, see how it's starting to come over and get, you know, I didn't get it all the way over enough. If you do it wrong, you're going to lose all your momentum and you're going to come off foil. So in my opinion, it's still best to use the regular jibe, tweak it to more of a windsurfer fast jibe, keeping the wing powered. I'm going to go try and get out there on the water with the 7 before the wind comes up and show you a couple of these with the camera mount, and hopefully it'll be helpful. It's really hard for me to describe this jibe because it's more of an instinct thing where I'm not actually sitting there thinking about these steps. So I'm hoping everything I said accurately reflects what I do. But when we get on the water, I'll try to think through it a little bit more. Hopefully the conditions end up being just right for it. Peace out, guys. Hopefully we'll get you another video soon. Like, subscribe, share. If you want to tip me because I'm helping teach you, you can use the super thanks feature. I appreciate it. Or buy some merch or whatever. Anyways, take care, guys. Okay, so here I am just finishing up some swell riding. And then you'll see me repower the wing. And look, I start pumping. I'm gaining a little bit of speed. And then looking for a little place to jibe, a little swell. And I carve really hard. Then flip the wing around and I repower. And then don't switch your feet until you're sure you have enough speed and power. Let's do another one. This one I really whip the wing around. And I'll do this one in slow-mo. I'm getting ready to jibe. I carve really hard. I'm keeping the wing where it is. Then as I come around, I flip it really fast on a flat pizza spin so I can repower and go the other way. On my weak side, I always switch my feet first. And then look, I'm pumping. I'm getting that speed, looking for a little swell to ride down. I carve really hard. I keep the wing back and I flip it around. Look how far I kept that wing back. Already carving. And look, wing is back, 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 back. And then now we flip it really fast like a pizza spin. And that keeps the wing from backwinding. I also tried to do a few goofy jibes. This felt really weird to me, but look, I'm going right foot forward now, and I'm carving, wings back, and then we flip it and repower at the last minute. And then with the right foot forward toe side, I'm going and getting a little speed, and I'm carving, and look, I touch down because I'm not good at this direction, but I'm still able to repower because I'm already on the other side. And then after that, I decided I got to do a couple with the hood up. These are the hoodies, the WFC hoodies you can order on my website. They're not made for winging, but they look cool, and you know, they kept the sun off my neck pretty well yesterday. So this one, starting in slow motion, switching the feet, and then get yourself a little pump going, get a little broad reach so you're gaining speed as best as you can. If there's no wind, you're just going to have to do the best you can to get speed. Then look, carving hard, keeping the wing back. And I flip the wing. Look how hard that carve is. I whip that board around. And then the other direction, carving, whipping it. Yeah, I'm touching down, but it doesn't matter. We're around, we've got speed. So that's the great thing, is if you mess it up, you sort of know what you're doing already. Here's a Heineken jibe. And yeah, I kind of messed it up. If that had been light wind, I don't know that would have really worked. And here's a race jibe, and I touched the wing to the water. If it had been really light wind, I don't think that would have worked either. Yeah, you can do a surfer jibe and just ride the foil around, but if you lose too much speed, there might not be enough power to repower once you get around. So this is my suggestion. Give it a try so you have another tool in your toolbox. Here's me trying to sit on the board. I always have trouble with this. I think it's because I'm fat.